Hey everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to my channel. This is my review of It Came Out on a Wednesday #2 from Alterna Comics. Now, if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe and, smash that notification bell hard like She-Hulk so you won't miss any new uploads. Also, if you enjoy this comic book review, please like it and share it with others so they can enjoy it as well. And don't forget to leave your comments. Now, this is an anthology comic book, which means it has several stories in it. This is #2, and the cover artist, Kelly Williams, she likes drawing monsters, and she drew a kind of a humorous one in a way, if you can tell. And there's an Easter egg on this cover. If you can you see it? I mean, I spotted it pretty quickly. If you can't, there's this little sign down here that says Comics, $2. And the price of It Came Out on Wednesday, $1.99. With tax, that's $2. Now, also something you'll notice about this particular issue, it says support your local comic shop for a chance to win $200 of Alterna Comics, to win a $200 Alterna Comic prize pack. Now, let's get into the stories. The first one is called Cas Ratan, I think. Words by Justin Sane and art by Juan Call. Virus by Sean Manzo. I'm sorry if I butcher any of these names. Art by Sim Eros. Letters by Nikki Powers. Building Something Greater, which is an interesting story. Words by Chase Hangburn. Art by Nico Leon. And that name, Nico Leon, sounds very familiar to me. I just can't place from where I've heard it before. Mr. Crypt by Troy Vivas. I'm sorry. Art by Alexander Jovic, and edits by Peter Samate, who owns Alterna Comics. The Dolls, words by Chris Charlton, art by Ryan Quackenbush, and letters by Tim Fuller. The Righteous Genesis, words by Terry Mayo and art by Dave Schwartz. And then the last one, Bloodfist, The Portal. Words, art, and letters by Jeremy Massey. I think I got that right. So I guess sometimes sometimes I have the notion, if you want something done right, then do it yourself, because, I know that's not such a great philosophy, but it's one that I entertain from time to time. And when I get at the back, I'll show you the contest. Alright, this first one is the Cas Ratan. Is about this sister and brother. I believe this is Russia. I'm pretty sure this is Russia. So anyway, this brother and sister, they hear this scratching beyond their wall every night. This was when they were really young, and the story is told by the sister, the one wearing the nightcap here. The brother is curious. He's, as it says in here, he's the curious one, so he makes this hole in the wall and decides to go exploring. And he falls, because you see her say, Augustus! And right off the bat, something I noticed about this story, that the art of their faces is really good, because it's like they're kind of using the manga style where they exaggerate the eyes. You'll see it here in a little bit. Anyway, the parents wake up. And the father says, "Katya, what's wrong? What's happening?" And the mother says, "What's the matter, Lechamon?" Sorry, I know I mispronounced that. I heard it pronounced a little bit ago, but I couldn't commit it to memory. Anyway, the little girl says that Augustus fell through the wall, and the father gets angry, saying, "I thought I told you children to forget about that noise." And then he says to his wife, "Anna, get man hammer. Get man hammer." You know, MEIN, I think that means mine. I got to break the wall down. Now, never mind that the boy already tore a huge hole in the wall, but it wasn't, of course, it wouldn't be big enough for the father. So all he would have to do is just enlarge it. But that wasn't needed. It says because the boy's back. And look at his hand. Much different from before. See how it's sort of, I don't know. And see, here his hands are uniform. They're human-like. Not as much as a comic book can be. But here they look kind of creepy. These fingers. He says, "No need to break the wall, Papa. Here I am." And so the boy comes back. And he's changed drastically. Because you can see the change. You know, he no longer has pupils. But there is something floating around inside of him. The sister is terrified to pieces. But the parents, they either choose not to see or they don't see the problem. Because the sister says, "My parents acted as though everything was normal. We sat at the table eating our breakfast, and no one said a word about the events of the night before, nor the way that my brother now ate his porridge." Because you see this weird type of parasite coming out of his mouth and out of his eye, and something sticking out of his ear too. So the boy is not himself. And the sister narrates that the teachers at school chose not to see it as well, but that something did change about him, that his grades exceeded her own, and that he had this insatiable appetite for cheese, because every time they went by the cheese shop, this is how he acted. She had to pull him away every time. And then when the mom would bring home some cheese, he would go crazy over it. And anytime he was told, to let up, that's what would happen. All these fangs or teeth or mouths came out, and he would bite off. He would attack the person who was trying to prevent him from eating cheese. Because the sister says the whole family started to worry about Augustus. Mama took him to the doctor, but Augustus almost gnawed the physician's arm off when he smelled Romandor on the man's breath. I guess that's a type of cheese. I've never heard of it before. And she says no one in the family would admit it, but we were all terrified. And so the sister takes it upon herself to do something. One morning, she gets a long stretch of rope from her father's workshop, takes it with her to school. She runs ahead of her brother, as you can see, who's like, "Wait up," but of course he says nothing. I guess these parasites do something to the vocal functions or whatever. She runs to the cheese shop and gets his favorite cheese, which I cannot pronounce. Although I do like the detail here, the artwork showing the cheese wheel. So she gets the cheese wheel with the rope, and she ties one end of the rope to the delivery cart from Munich that was parked outside the shop. Wait a minute, Munich. That's Germany, not Russia. My bad. I'm sorry. And she says by the time Augustus arrived, see what she did? She tied the other end to the cheese wheel. The delivery man was just boarding his cart for the long trip back. And this is what happens. The cart starts up, and it drags the cheese wheel. Augustus runs after it, while all these parasites are still inside of him. And he's not seen of again. But the sister doesn't have to share her cheese anymore, and now she has a devious look on her face. Which makes me think that this is not entirely the end of this story, which I liked very much. Now this next one, Virus, written by Sean Malanzo, art by Sim Eros, and letters by Nikki Powers, is only 2 pages long. But it's a fun story. Apparently this takes place in space, because these two, a boyfriend and girlfriend, they're looking out into space. You know, they can see all the different stars. They're not looking up from the ground. They're looking up from a spaceship. And in comes this guy. He says, "Oh, I didn't know you guys were going to be here." Apparently this is the local pariah, on the ship, that the girl actually, likes. She, not in a romantic way, but she acknowledges that he's there. "Aw, who's the lucky lady? He brought flowers for her." But then there's the other guy that says, "Hey, tech guy, did you work out those bugs in my computer?" "Yes." Then he tosses the flowers to the ground, clearly upset. And so apparently the tech guy does something, because later that evening, "I had a really good time with you today," and then click, screen went blank. "I'm going to kill that techie." And then all of a sudden, out from his keyboard come these weird tentacles, and they surround him and kill him. And that's the end. So that was short but sweet. Now this one, Build Something Greater, words by Chaz Panber and Nico Lynn. It's interesting and a little bit confusing at the same time. It's only 4 pages long. So this is a girl, and she's confronting this person, or at least you're led to believe it's a person. It says, "You have 3 seconds to comply." 3, and I like her response. I really do. She responds to each situation, I think, very, very, very good. Because she says, "Nope, nuh-uh, not doing it." He says, 2, 1, and then she goes, "Whoosh!" And she makes a hole. But what does she make a hole in? Because, is that a dude or a man? Over here we see it's a robot who can't speak now. I guess she selects his vocal processor. "Under arrest." And she just says, "No, that's not how this works." And Then she starts explaining. Once upon a time, my kind built yours. Tech grew and adapted. We didn't. But that's where I come in. Mr. Robo Fuzz, you have something I need, so I'm taking it. You have the right. Bam! And it says here, local law enforcement, which she just blew away. And over here on this page, it says politicians. Also mechanical, just like the law enforcement. She, severed the mechanical head. The military, she got rid of them too. Also robotic. And she says, even places of worship. They all have binary rules. They all claim to know what's best for you. They don't, obviously. So what do we do? How do we ignite change? It's simple. Take what you need, trash the rest, and most of all, build something better. Now, I think, but I could be wrong, that binary here might refer to binary code, which is, I think, 01010101 and on. But it could refer to, the laws of man today. I don't know. Now the next one is Mr. Crypt. But I highly suggest you get it. Came out on Wednesday, #2, if just for this story alone, because it's really good. There's other good ones in here. Mr. Crypt is told by this librarian. I love this character because he's so funny. He's a skeleton, but yet somehow he has a mustache, and I like the top hat too. The librarian has to go, and so she wants him to count the number of pages from a large manuscript. So he starts with 1, and then 4 hours later, 1028. Then he hears brum brum, and he goes and sees that it's Baron Rat. You made me lose my count. Now I'll be here for ages. Then he says, oh well, I'm a skeleton after all, so I guess I've got time enough at last. And then Baron Rat, grins and laughs. So that was cute. And here's an interview with Kelly Williams, who did the cover. Now this might be the very best story in here. It's called The Dolls. And it's told by an unnamed man who recalls the past of when a woman's husband was killed in a car accident. She was left with her 2 children, twins, Jake and Mira. And here they're playing outside, and the mother, whose name is Beverly, says, Jake, share the ball with your sister. But Mom! And of course, the sister, being the impatient one, she says, give me it! And knocks it from his hands. Hey! And of course, he was going to give it to her in his time, but, the sister didn't want to wait. Now, I think it's interesting to note, this car which is coming up is driving down this black road, and instead of there being grass, we see red. No grass, just red. And then when the car comes closer, you see the children. And the Jake says, look what you did. I want it. And then the mother says, Jake, Mara, stay out of the car is red now. And so is this house. And then she hears this thunk, thunk. Oh my God, no! Vroom! Drives away, and there's the ball. her children have been killed by a runaway driver. Because we see this is where the unnamed man stops his narration, because he says here that the entire neighborhood arrived for the funeral. What's worse, the driver that killed Beverly's children was never brought to justice. And then we see here the minister saying, "We commit Jake and Mira's bodies to the ground next to their father, John. We ask, O Lord, that you reunite them in the kingdom of heaven." And this woman is saying in a hushed tone, that poor soul, how much suffering can one woman withstand? Losing her children after her husband died in that tragic car accident. So both the husband and the children both die in a car accident. And the mother, Beverly, is thinking, how that her life is now in shambles, and she can't sleep, and she's lost all will to eat. Her life is filled with emptiness. Then she sees these two dolls. They're standing here next to the wall, which is kind of strange to me. She says, "How can I stay here alone with all of these memories? Even these dolls remind me of a Christmas not long ago." And that Christmas is shown where I believe these dolls were given to the children. And then she looks at those lifelike dolls again and says, "Oh, my babies, I'd give anything to have you back." That was the key word. I'd give anything. And then you see "Mommy" from one of the dolls. And if you look around them, all you see is red. "Mommy." And she's realizing that she might be going insane. This can't be happening. It isn't real. And here's the unnamed man starting to narrate again a little bit. Convinced she was going mad, Beverly Castle confined herself to her bedroom. "You're not real!" Slam! But does that stop the children? "People will think I'm insane," she whispers to herself. And then bump, bump, scratch. "Mommy, this isn't possible. Oh, my ankle." They're pushing her door open. So these two walk into her room and that look like her children. "Mommy, nowhere left to run. This is it. Could it be Jake and Mira? Mommy, is it really you?" Because she misses them so much that she wants this to be real. "Oh my God, it's okay. Mommy's here. Mommy's here." And so for a while, everything seems to be okay. She's mother to these two lifelike dolls who look like her now deceased children. Because the unnamed man says here, it was as if nothing had changed at all for a while. Because then she's outside. This is clearly during autumn. "They need me at their side constantly. They will never grow up, never know of love," she's thinking. The joy of having her children back, even captive in those strange dolls, had at once turned to anguish in the mind of Beverly Castle, because she says, "I have to keep them hidden here forever." A constant reminder of what it was she had truly lost. "Mommy, because she knows that these can't be her children. Then she's starting to lose it, so she calls everybody in the phone book. And the only person she can get a hold of is a gypsy named Miss Nadia. And so that's the gypsy right there. She arrives to help that very night, the unnamed man says, with a warning that came as no surprise. There is a dark presence here. A shadow cloaks your home. Stare into the crystal, child. We must commune with another plane. And so she's so confused and lost, and she doesn't know what to think. No, something is wrong. She says, forgive me, child, but there's nothing more I can do here. Keep your money and leave this place. You promised you would help. And then when the gypsy leaves, we see this in the background. See, it changes to red again, and there's a figure. Beverly. She's thinking, that voice. I've missed you terribly. John? And you see the red increase. The gypsy's ritual freed my spirit from the black car I died in, just as our children's spirits were trapped in those dolls. Black car? But Jake and Mira were... Don't you see, honey? You killed them! I'm getting the family back together again. The only one missing is, and you can see, the face of her husband is more like a skeleton. And apparently she dies from fright. Because you can see that everything that's engulfing her is red, except her face, her skin. And the man says, people still tell tales of a spectral black sedan with blood stains on its bumper roaming the streets. Some have claimed to see a ghostly bouncing red ball in the front yard, while others say they can hear a woman's screams coming from deep within the home. And yes, on occasion, when you gaze upon the old house, you can catch a glimpse of silhouettes in the window, the dolls keeping an ever vigilant watch. Now that was a really nice story. This one, The Wicked Righteous Genesis by Terry Mayo and art by Dave Schwartz. It wasn't as bad as the previous one, but still, it's not good enough to make me want to, buy the Wicked Righteous comic book from Alterna. Because it's still... It sort of elaborates, I think, on the previous story, even though there's different characters. Basically, this is a type of ward, and they're in a quarantine. And these people are in a quarantine zone. And this person is saying, "Give us back our children. I can't believe what you're suggesting. Wake up, Don. The world needs doctors, not more orphans." Time for your quote of the day. Asa. One from a book, a good book. And then this strange figure says, "Why do you insist on talking to them?" This strange figure is talking to that woman there, the nurse. He says, "With the sedative we give, she can't hear you. Here, she won't even feel it." "This is insane," the woman says. "I agree, but that doesn't change the facts. you want to live, you must kill. I'm not killing anyone. Yes, you will, he says. If you want to live, you will. See, this, I don't get this at all. And he's walking away, he says, "Tick-tock, Helen." So here we learn the name of this woman. It's Helen. After all, we're running out of time. And then she says, "Nurse, could you give Azra a little more sedative, please?" "Yes, ma'am." Where were we? Quote of the day. And this is the woman. And I'm not sure who all these other figures are. "Great is your purpose and mighty are your deeds. Your eyes now open to the ways of mankind. Reckon each person by their conduct and as their deeds deserve. Amen." So I'm not sure what this is here. Are these bodies? Everything here is so sort of, it's so dark, and the artwork is not very clear. But this is what I find really troubling. This is the Statue of Liberty, and her head is down here. So it's like this is trying to say something, but I don't know what. And the last one is Bloodfist, the Portal. So B is his companion. They're walking through the desert, and they come across this portal right here, and that's all it's referred to is a portal. And he says, see, never doubt, Bloodfist, here we are, our quickest way out of this desert. Who dares seek passage through my portal? Now, if y'all notice, this portal looks very familiar. It looks like a Stargate. You know, Stargate SG-1, the show. And so they're allowed to go through this portal. And when they do, something happens. So because this dude tells them that they will be tested. So they go through the portal, as you see here, and they, as it says, falling through time and space, and then everything goes, wonky. And then they both see this villain that apparently they are familiar with, but doesn't look like himself. A portal. Great idea. I feel like I'm gonna retch. And they see this General Vilas, who picks up B and swallows her. But the trial that they had to overcome was their fears. So B thinks, hey, what if this isn't even real? And then boom, they fall through to another place or another planet or wherever. That's not a desert. But this time, it doesn't look very friendly either. So, it says the adventure will continue in the next issue, and I hope it does, because Bloodfist is a really, really entertaining cartoon. I mean, comic. I still love cartoons. So that was my review of It came out on Wednesday, #2 from Alterna Comics. Some of the art was not to my liking. Some of the stories were not to my liking. But overall, I did enjoy it. You know, there were stories I did like. Stories that I did enjoy. Like Kas Ratan, where the little boy becomes inhabited by some parasites. Building something greater. I liked that one, even though it was a little bit confusing, but hard done and kind of hard to wrap my head around. But I still liked it. I liked Mr. Crypt. I really liked the dolls. And the one about Bloodfist, the portal, wasn't bad. Oh, and if you want to know about the contest, they made it very simple. 5 easy steps to enter for a chance to win a $200 Alterna Comics prize pack filled with signed comics, graphic novels, and merchandise. 1. Go to your local comic shop. 2. Purchase any Alterna Comics title. 3. Take a picture of your purchase. 4. Tweet your picture to us at Alterna Comics, on Twitter. 5. Make sure to include the name and location of your local comic shop, or tag them and include the hashtag bringing back newsprint. That's it. And it says down here in the fine print, contest rules limit 1 entry per Twitter account. Multiple purchases do not count as multiple entries. Contest ends on October 1st, 2018. One winner will be announced on November 1st, 2018. Winner must allow for 6 to 8 weeks for delivery of prize pack upon reception of winner's address. Winner will be contacted and notified via Twitter. So that looks pretty fun. And something else I'd like to mention, both DC Comics and Marvel Comics have not put something like this on their comic books in a few decades. Because it's all, there's no more, there's little to no fun coming from these two companies now. That's why my slogan for Spirit Comics is bringing the fun back, because I want to create stories that will be fun and enjoyable. So that was my review of It Came Out on Wednesday, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you do take a chance to win something from Alterna Comics by going out and purchasing a comic from Alterna Comics, and doing as the instructions said. Particularly, It Came Out on a Wednesday, #2, because the instructions are in the back. So I thank you for coming by. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe to Spirit Comics and smash that notification bell hard like She-Hulk so you will not miss any new uploads. Also, please do like and share this comic book review with other people so they can enjoy it as well. Don't forget to leave your comments. Till next time, true readers.